But this is our last call of Q3, which is crazy. Like we have done, right? It has gone by so fast. But I mean, just like recapping, we obviously started in July and we went exactly about 10 weeks. 10 stinking weeks we went. And can I just say, like, I loved Shelly on our call last week. And I hope you got some valuable nuggets, you know, just from her and just starting to see, okay, like these coaches, what they're doing is actually what I do. And I want you to start realizing they're not any different than you. They still go through the same struggles as you, but they do show up every single day, just like you. So I would just continue to say, put in the time, put in the work. It's obviously all going to come together. But I hope you got kind of a realm of what that is from every single one of our speakers. We had Lauren Fitzgerald, we had Brianne Wetzel, Christy Silva, Melissa Brewer, and Shelley Heim. So we had 5 incredible ladies who are all in the West and Central regions, which is super cool. I'm obviously looking at my little thing because I put it up and I'm like, those are my people. So anyways, this last call is really all about you. It is about what does the next 90 days embark to? That's kind of a weird word to use. What does it look like, right? Like as far as, I mean, we only have a couple weeks left of September, which is crazy to me. But then we are in my favorite quarter of the year, Q4. And I say that because a lot of coaches are like, yes! And some are like, crap! And it's because you have to show up during the hardest season, right? But I know when you show up during the hardest season, you have the best Q1. And that is our busiest season. And obviously it does start with your dedication, your commitment right now and the activities. And I do hear this time and time again, you know, my best coaches, this is not my best coaches, but I hear my best coaches come in this season of life in the September, October, November. And I think it's that reminder that they can get phenomenal results through the holidays, but it takes you showing up every single day. That builds credibility with you as a leader, as a coach, as a mentor, but can really set you up for a strong 2019. So before we kind of look at 2019, what does the end of the year look like? Like as far as, have you guys kind of laid out your marketing plan, your calendars, and like, okay, this is what we have scheduled October, November, December. Let's kind of talk about that. If you want to mute yourself, please.
I feel like I always talk too much.
Oh, you hush it. Go. You unmuted.
Okay, so I was so inspired by last week with the 100, like realizing there's 100 days left, and with the Pearson's 100 days of inspiration, that I went with that and I brought it to my teams, and we are doing a 100 day strong push as like a reverse New Year's resolution. And I'm telling people in marketing, and I'm telling, to recruit new people, decide now how you want to end the year. Don't wait until you're in Thanksgiving and being tempted, or until, pumpkin spice lattes are coming out and, like all these temptations of the holidays, and using that, the statistics that you literally could go on Pinterest if you wanted to, that people usually gain, between 5 to even 30 pounds in this last 100 days of the year. And so why don't we now decide before we're tempted to actually become our healthiest, strongest self come December 31st? This is how we're doing it. So to make things simple for myself and for my team, we're doing 100 days of Lift 4 and To Be Mindset and Shakeology. People have the ability to be flexible if they want to do something different, but that's how I'm leading the group and how I'm encouraging my coaches to lead the group. We're actually banding together in this as a team, and I created a document in my leadership page with my coaches with tasks. This was inspired by the National Wake Up Call this week. I loved it so much, and I wanted to cultivate leadership within my team, and I have a very loud personality. Naturally, I just can talk. There's no fear for me there, and I attract introverts. And so I'm realizing I need to kind of step back in order to allow and push them to take a step forward. And so, anyways, so I have a document with tasks for each person to take, like, okay, who's going to do daily inspirations in the morning for October, November, December? Who's going to run the challenge tracker app? Who's going to do our evening check-ins, who's going to volunteer to always consistently be encouraging people, who's going to set up last week's call. I love how she set up the unit for the Lift 4 days and the unit for To Be Mind. Did she do To Be Mindset? Maybe not. Did she? I don't know. But
I thought she did.
That.
Maybe. Keep going.
I can't remember. But we're gonna have a unit for the To Be Mindset with the challenge group guide and Lift 4. So I had 2 coaches for each of those programs volunteer to put that information in, so that everyone has a task. Everyone feels like they have a responsibility, so that they own the group more. And we're really just going for it. And every 10 days is what I propose to my coaches to do, is invite people every 10 days, like 90 days left in the year, 80 days left in the year. So we always still have something to invite people to. And we're doing this like anticipation. You can be whatever you want to be by the end of the year kind of thing. And everyone so far has really loved it. And I feel like the Pearsons, it was such a huge gift for us to have that. So that's kind of what my end of year push looks like.
That is flipping good. I love it. And I love the excitement for the last 100 days of the year. Like, as much as it freaks me out, it makes me excited. And then creates a lot of momentum and drive, obviously, to push towards big goals. I love that you have set it up for Lift 4, Shake Go, so on and so forth. But no, that's really, really, and most importantly, you're getting your team involved to help with it. You are not doing it all. Can I not reiterate that enough? So thank you.
I also told my coaches, come January, you all are leading your own group. It's like we're binding together to increase your confidence, and you can decide what you want to do with your group. But come January, you are branching off and you will lead your own challenge group. And I'm telling them that now. And that came from National Wake Up Call, which I really loved that part.
For sure. Can we take a moment and pause and just tell Deanna how pretty she is in a robe? Look at her. Who gets all gorgeous and wears a robe? Like, look how pretty you are. Sorry. Little commercial break. Okay, who wants to go next? Who else wants to? I feel like if you don't have the To Be Mindset water bottle right now, you're kind of not in the club. So if you have one, I feel like everybody. No push. Right, exactly. Okay, so what else? Talking about the last, so Deanna, what we basically were just going over is the last quarter of the year, right? It's the dedication, commitment, the showing up every single day now that creates the momentum drive for the end of the year, and then obviously for incredible 2019. So just any idea on your marketing plan for the end of the year. So just reiterating, if you want to unmute yourself and talk with all of us. Any one of you.
I have, and it's weird, and I was actually going to ask, because I know that I messaged you a while back about Shift Shop, because I don't really hear a ton about it. And like, I'm super stoked about it, because when I ran my test group for it originally, like, it was amazing. Like, people loved Chris. They loved the, personal development aspect of it. And so like, I'm like super stoked. But when I like asked my team, I'm like, who here is doing Shift Shop? It's like 25% of the people were like me, and some of the leaders are like, no, I'm not going to do it. And it was like, huh. So then of course I get in my own head going, what? But I'm like, no, I'm just going to go for it, because I found a ton of value in it, and creating, like I did with Lift 4, a VIP info group. I'm going to do that with Shift Shop, to create a VIP info group to kind of plug people in, because we had a lot of success with that. Even though it's only a 4-week program, or 3-week program, I guess, it'll take us, I think, through like right before Thanksgiving, and trying to really, share the benefit of having, getting set up with a coach, whether or not for the discount or to, be a business builder, or for accountability, to be able to be in Chris's test group as well. So that's kind of my plan, not end of year plan, but through Thanksgiving plan.
No, and I love that. And you're absolutely right. There hasn't been a lot of buzz about it. And I think it's because people are still trying to process the launch of To Be Lift 4. And people are saying, well, I had such an amazing Lift 4 launch, and now they want to do round 2. And so they've a lot of people have blessed and released it, but they're going to go back to it, because same thing, they love it. But there's so many things that are back to back after each other, right? And then it's like, then we have to put in Sean week, so then people fall in love with Sean, then we're going to transfer 20 and all these little things. But I love that you're running with it. So I would say run with it. Love the program, and you'll be able to talk to. And I think it's just a friendly reminder for everybody else who doesn't have it on their calendar for the end of the year, plan a time when you are going to do it so that it is in your library so you know you can speak to it. And of course, Chris is amazing, but I agree with you, Deanna. There hasn't been a ton of buzz because there's just been too many things back to back to back. But I'm not going to complain about that, right? It's like...
Yeah. No. It's definitely... I mean, because we've done 2 rounds of Lift 4, or we're on our 2nd round of Lift 4, which I mean is an amazing program because it's such a lifestyle program. But then I thought one of the benefits of having Shift Shop start, I have a ton of content that I did from last year. I've got people's before and after results. I've got videos. I've got like me doing it with my mom last year. So I'm like, I've got all this stuff that I get to repurpose, and I already have experience with the program. So that's what I'm like super stoked about it.
For sure. So don't go in your own mind. Don't get in your own mind, and don't overthink it. You're great. Continue to do you. I love it. Ashley, Teresa, what about you ladies?
My group wise is kind of similar to Jessica. We just started like a kind of mixed group, I guess, on Facebook, and we set up the prep week into units. So that way we can continually kind of add people. So just every 2 weeks, we're going to add people and welcome them and try to pull that into the end of the year. My biggest worry is when we do these groups, they kind of seem to lose interest. Like my 2B Mindset group, it seems hard to get them kind of motivated. So I'm actually looking for some advice. Like, what do you guys do to keep those forever groups fun? I mean, I'm doing different posts, motivation, different things like going live. And it's just hard. It seems like, especially the 2B Mindset one, it's like they're silent now. So just kind of wondering what you guys are doing for those.
I can give a little bit of feedback, not that I've had enormous success, but I have an ongoing group. I don't utilize it. It's kind of almost like a placeholder to keep people that are kind of like, I'm going to kind of do my own thing or whatever. And so what I did, and I've had it for like 3 years, and like I've got like 500 people in there, and out of it like 3 people post, right? So I totally get it. But what I did this time was I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do Clean Week. So I put a new graphic up. I changed the name to Clean Week. I did an event invite within that group saying, week, you know, have you fallen off and you want to get back on? Because some people still have BODs, some people had it and let it go, or people, you know, have the old DVDs. And so then a lot of people are like, me. And so then I can reach out to them. If they didn't have a BOD, I can get them set up with a free trial. If they did, I would tell them how to do that. And then it was kind of like reintroducing a new group. And so that seemed to really help with the engagement as well. And so now we're going to kind of go on to the next thing, and it's going to be kind of an ongoing group with people doing 21-day fix and different things. So that was one way that kind of helped get the excitement back up.
I love that. Anybody else want to chime in? Yeah, Jess, go.
Do any of you guys do prizes in your challenge groups? Because the most, and I did, and then I stopped, but I feel like the most engagement I ever had was when there was like competition. I thrive off of competition, not even if it's like a pencil, like, I don't know. So I'm actually bringing that back. I got some feedback from my coaches, and that's why we are actually using and opening the challenge tracker app, because I know there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. Sorry guys, I'm making some coffee. I know that there's a lot of different ways that we could do like a point system for like checking in and rating. It's harder with 2B Mindset, I feel like, because you can't track that, especially if you have people who are not in the space yet to work out. But I talked about this with one of my coaches yesterday, and she said even if people have like get a cheap Fitbit, and if they're not ready to do beach body workouts maybe or anything, or like even have them do yoga, and that could count towards their log if they want to participate in the competition. And then with the challenge tracker app, it's so easy for us to see who's logged the most shakes and workouts. Or if they're just doing 2B Mindset and like can't work out at all, maybe they could take a picture of their food log and log that as a workout to prove that they're doing their nutrition piece, and that way they won't feel like excluded. But we're going to do once a month prizes throughout the rest of the year to try and increase engagement.
I love it. Anybody else want to give Ashley any feedback though on that too?
I can't share my video because I'm driving because I have an appointment. But this is Holly. I do what Jessica does, but I always make sure my prizes are like beach bars and Energize and stuff, because I feel like it's such an investment back in to your own business, because then those people are like, wait, that is really good, and then they go and buy it, and then it's like then they're more inclined to sign up for the discount because then they're buying bars and Energize and Shaco, you know, that kind of thing. So that's just the one thing I wanted to add to that. I always do prizes, and I always do stuff from Beachbody.
Great feedback. I love that. Okay, Teresa, we haven't heard from you.
So as far as, oh, did I freeze? There I am. So as far as like a marketing plan, so I'm actually kind of not revamping, like maybe just tweaking what I've been doing. So I have been doing a webinar for over a year now, and it's kind of an evergreen now. So I did it live, and that's what I give to people if they're interested in everything. And it really explains everything that we do. But for the last maybe 3 or 4 months, it hasn't been working. So I've been trying to figure out, like all this time I've been trying to like figure out what it is that I can do differently so that I can, you know, get people to jump on board. So that is kind of like what I've been focusing on. I haven't been really focusing on like the products per se, because right now, like Mark and I have been doing or having a group, an ongoing group that we're actually going to end at the end of the year so that we can have like a fresh one at the beginning of the year, because we're going to have like an influx of people. But we've been really focusing on Lift 4 because it just works for our niche. It's perfect for our niche. So we've been really holding on to that, and we really promote that program. And we've gotten so many more people to not just do the program and maybe Shakeology for a month. It's like they're getting like the mega pack. Like they want everything. So we've been, working on that. But I do have a question for you all, because I've been really into Instagram, and I've been growing my following there. And I've been getting probably most of my people from Instagram now, and not so much on Facebook. I feel like, I know that many of you have or work your Instagram differently, but what is the best way to engage with people that are interested on Instagram? Because I feel like I can't provide all the information through DMs. It's like really like unorganized, and I just hate it. How do you kind of move people on to the next step? My question.
What I started doing probably about a month or two ago, and granted, I am super newbie on Instagram, which has almost paralyzed my business actually a little bit, because I'm like trying to figure it all out and it's stressing me out. So trying to revamp that. But what I'm doing when people are interested, I actually just have a Google form, and primarily for Lift 4. So the first thing that they do, I think I stole this idea from Michael Folsom, where it was the first question that they ask is the email, right? And then once they enter their email, then I like to use video, because I think that if people can visually see things, so it's like the 2-minute Lift 4 video. And then if they're interested, then there's like a quick form for them to fill out, not super lengthy, because I'm very bullet pointy. And if people ask a lot of me, then I'm just going to go, this is too much, I don't want to type it in. Mm-hmm. So it's like on a scale of 1 to 10, rate your nutrition. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate your fitness. What do you find you struggle with? What are your goals? And then once they fill it out, then I get a notification, then I can email them and kind of continue that conversation. And that seemed to be a really great way to engage with people, giving them the content kind of quick. And then not really spending so much time like, oh, are they interested? Okay, well, you know what I mean? So that seemed to really help. And then I also have their email address, so then I can start in the future building this list to where I can go, hey, we've got a new program coming out, or we've got this other thing, and I know last time was a good time for you. And so that seemed to really be a quick way that I can, and it's like a quick thing saying, hey, I'm super excited for our group. Again, I think it's something I totally stole from Micah. Check this out. If you're interested, fill out the form so I can get to know more about you and your goals, and then just send it off. So yeah, and I'll definitely share that.
Thank you.
I love that Deanna spoke about that, because I know that's one thing that she's been hesitant about. So I love that you just shared, because I see your confidence coming out with Instagram. Really cool. Jess, what were you going to add in with that?
I love that. I think that's really awesome. And for me, what's worked, like I've been doing a lot of the PB&J invites through Instagram, and I try to move them from DM to text message as soon as possible, because I feel like that for me, it's more personable. They see me, especially if it's a stranger, they see me as a real person with like a phone that that I trust them kind of enough, which granted, I think if you were like top 10 coach, this might be hard. I don't know. But where we're at right now, I feel like we're still at a place where we can give out our phone number and say, hey, would you shoot me a text real quick? Because Instagram message, IG Messenger is really hard. And everyone agrees. Yes, you're absolutely right. And then I switch them over to that. And then I usually try to, ask them questions first. Like, I'm so happy you reached out, or I'm so happy, whatever the context of the message is. I think like the energy part is super, super important. But then just started asking, where do you see yourself in 3 months? Like what are your top goals right now? Ideally, like if you knew you couldn't fail, where would you like to see yourself in 3 months? What are you struggling with? And then, a little bit more about their pain points so that you can speak to the solution. And usually in a text message, so I'm curious, do you guys still use, and do you send the BB links to anyone, or do you just explain the challenge pack and then get them set up through Share Cart? Sorry, that was my answer into a question.
I use the Share Cart because the way that my webinar is set up is that it explains everything like towards the end, like the challenge packs and everything like that. And then after that, they have to submit a form. This is where I think I'm losing people, is there's like a 30 to 45 minute webinar. Then they have to fill out a form so that I can connect with them. But once the people that I actually get through that process, then I just ask them, I send them a recommendation, and then they just need to tell me the program, Shakeology flavor, and then I send them the Share Cart.
Okay. Yeah, I would say for you and Mark, are you guys working on like a niche together now, or are you still kind of separate a little bit?
No, we're working together.
Because I feel like most people with the busyness, maybe that, like you're totally right, maybe that's where you're losing people, is that 30 to 40 minutes. Instead of, I've noticed like the more questions that I ask people rather than information I give them, the better they usually are. And the more that they'll stick with me. and honestly, I don't know where you guys are at, and I'm sure all of our avatars are a little bit different, but I have been like pretty much every single human, because I'm working with busy moms, is To Be Mindset. Especially now that Lift 4 is going to be available in Beachbody On Demand. Just because like the busyness, even if weight loss isn't a goal, I feel like To Be Mindset is so awesome for being flexible for busy moms or people who are on the go a lot, or, like even in law enforcement, you're out, like you're not home a lot. Granted, other people might need the structure of the containers. But for me, I'm like, everyone needs To Be Mindset in their life. And then let's do Lift 4 because now it's available. So I don't know.
What I've been doing for Lift 4 to kind of, as far as BB links or Share Cart, I always use Share Cart. So what I do is when people fill out that form, I get a notification. Then I actually, if you guys are able to use snippets for Gmail, it's amazing. Creepy dude in the background.
This is a creepy cop in the background.
But what I do is if they, message me back, then I actually have just kind of a snippet email form that I use. Just say, hey, thanks girl for taking the time to fill out the form, and then it says something like, nutrition can be a real struggle, because most people say it's nutrition, right? So, and then I'll kind of cater it to whatever they said. And then, really kind of address their specific goals. And then I just ask them, I'm like, are you ready to do this together? Or do you have any more questions for me? And then if they're like, I think I'm ready, then I go, okay, well here, and I actually have a graphic that has all the Lift 4 options, from the mega pack to just, the $170 option. And I'm like, here are a couple options, take a look at it and let me know which one would be the best fit for you. And I just straight out ask them. So I just assume that, okay, you're ready. And then a lot of times they're like, oh, I like option 1. Okay, cool. Send it. And another thing that I do, if they decide that they want the performance line option, I don't give them an option between orange or chocolate, because I like chocolate and the picture shows chocolate. So I don't even give them the option of orange, because I've had a couple people say they don't like it. So now I just go, oh, you think it's just chocolate because there's a photo of chocolate. That's what I'm sending you. So that's how I do it.
And then it's too many options, too many things for people to
back
decide.
and forth asking so many times, and they're like, oh my gosh, just send me the stuff already.
Yeah.
At least that's how I work.
I think it's how we all work. Completely understand. I'd be like, okay, I'm over it. If I was the customer, like, just make a decision. Let's move forward. No, this is good. Okay. What else? Let's just take about maybe 5 minutes left, 5 minutes more. Is there anything else? I mean, questions, anything that you may be struggling with, the last 11 days of the month for the most part? Is there anything that maybe we could help with? Or, I mean, even this, like, what has gone amazing this month? What is something that you would like to share that, to really inspire the rest of us?
Oh, I wanted to share a tool with you guys that's really working for me.
Okay.
You guys heard, or do you use the Marco Polo app? It's amazing. My mama told me about it. And so download it on your phone, and it's a video. It's like walkie-talkies with video, and you can add groups. So like, say you want to do as an incentive your coaches who are pushing for Success Club, you can put them in a group and you do videos, and you can watch live, or it records and they can play it whenever they're available to watch it. But I have recently done that. I've made a list of all my coaches who are actively working the business, and I had them download this app so that I can video check in with them, and it's so much faster. And then they feel your emotions and they see your facial expressions, so that through a text message, it might be how that happens all the time. It might be misconstrued, and they can feel your energy and be like, hey, I'm really excited. I know you've been wanting to be successful and you've really struggled these last 6 months. Let's do something about it. What do you think? And then it's just really worked really well for me with my crazy schedule, because I never know when my kids are going to be not monsters. And so it works really, really well. I'd highly recommend it.
My mom's a big advocate too. Her and her best friend always go back and forth. And I'm like, so it's clearly in the mom biz too. I love it. Okay, Ashley, what about you? You're unmuting yourself, sweetie.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going to have to hop off shortly. My kids get out of school early today. But I wanted to ask a question on IG and coaches. So that's where I struggle sometimes. I'm new to IG, trying to figure it all out too. But you get someone interested in coaching. How do you go forward with that? Do you send them like a YouTube video that you made? Do you move them over to Facebook where you have like a sneak peek running? I feel like that's kind of where I'm losing people, and wondering what you ladies are doing with that.
I can give you what I'm doing. Not that I've been successful, because I've only been doing it for a week, but I'm trying it. Again, I'm trying to actually duplicate the systems in the applications, because I was so anti-application for a year. I'm like, that just seems so cold. But in reality, my goal is hopefully I'll be having a lot of people. And so this is a quick way. So again, I created a Google form. First thing is their email. So again, I'm taking it before they can watch the video. And then I created, and it's not perfect because I do not do well with scripted video. I'm more kind of like, hey, but we tried to make it more presentable, which means I was totally not myself. But anyways, it was like a 2-minute video that just said something like, hey, if you're watching this video, it's because you're interested in learning about what I do, or I saw something in you that I just think you would be amazing. Talked quickly about my story, where I began, how exciting, how great it's been, quickly tap on the rewards, friendship, income, things like that. And then what else did I talk about? And then I said quickly who I'm looking for, because I'm trying to really not be so darn wishy-washy that I typically get, like, oh, I wouldn't really help. Like, I want to help people, but I want to freaking help people who want to work, And so I just said, here's what I'm looking for. If you have a love for health and fitness, or you're willing to work on yourself, awesome. I want people that have a love for helping other people. If you love to travel, and here's what I'm not looking for. If you want to get rich quick, if you want to do this, you're probably not going to be my tribe, and that's totally cool too. And then there's a quick application again, which I can share that. Again, I have not had any success because I just started using it, implementing it, but it's a really quick way to get to know about them, and kind of let them know a little bit about me, and quickly, without being, because some of the Beachbody I'm a Coach videos are kind of like weird and cheesy a little bit. Sorry, Carl. But but yeah, so I'll share that. You guys can kind of look at it and see if it's something you want to run with, or kind of give you ideas for it.
It's so good. And I will just say this, do it until the end of the year, going into Q1, no matter what. And you're going to see some traction, but I love that you say what you don't want. Ashley, did that answer your question? Okay. Anybody else want to chime in and just give her any other feedback?
I love that. I think that your approach is way better, but I just ask them questions. If they reach out to me, I just had that happen. Someone reached out to me about how I built my business, and they said it's been life-changing. I'd love to share it with you. I'm actually, I'm doing a sneak peek with Teresa, and so I asked them, would you like to be added to this free coach info group so you can learn a little bit more about it? And, that's another transition option.
Sorry, I'm eating my apple. If you can't tell, I'm a little hungry this morning. That is beautiful. Okay. Anything else? I don't want to leave anybody hanging. I just really appreciate you, Six, showing up. I appreciate you every single week showing up. And these last 10 weeks have been so fun. Like, I have absolutely, this is the thing. What I have realized, actually, this is what I know with my 3 and 4 star diamonds. Your energy is magnetic. You guys have a lot of fun. I know you're in that trench of I'm working towards that next big goal, but I promise you, just the way that you carry yourself as coaches is so incredible. And what I love most is there's no egos in it. And so I would just say, continue to work hard, continue to put in the time, continue to use this community of support and love, obviously our chat thread and the Facebook group and so on and so forth. And don't ever hesitate, obviously, to reach out. But I'm just really excited for you guys. 100 days, you have so much that you are working towards. And I just appreciate your time. So thank you. This was kind of off the cuff mastermind. And I just wanted to kind of sum up the last 10 weeks and just thank you for the questions that you did ask our hot seat participants. I know that they had a ton of fun presenting, but most importantly, I hope you're starting to realize they're just like you. They're so like you. And so, yes, that's all I have to say, ladies. Anything else?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Y'all have a good morning, all right? Yeah, Jess, what? Jess, go.
I was just going to ask when we I forget, do we take a break or does it continue?
Mid-October. Yeah, mid-October.
So sad.
I know. Doesn't mean forever. But yeah, so just after leadership and everything like that. So yep, take a couple weeks, kind of dial in. I would suggest you all doing like live power hours together. If you want to still collaborate, communicate, please do. Don't go silent, don't go dark, and don't stop working. Okay, please and thank you. But I appreciate all of you. Let me know if you need anything. Okay? I'll have the recording up. Thanks, ladies. Bye.